All right, guys, I got a fun one today. I'm doing some crack repair on this old cat backhoe. I'll show you the crack. So the crack is right here. So you can see it went through the gusset plate and it's gone down. I don't think that's a part of the crack. I think it's just some slag left in it. You can see the crack runs down this way till about the other weld. So we'll cut into this weld a ways and see if it runs into this one too much. It's hard to tell with this paint, but we'll know once we open it up. You can see this has been repaired once or twice before. If you guys can't tell, this is actually the machine that I repaired the boom that snapped in half on. This machine has almost 8,000 hours on it. This is just what happens when you have a machine at this age, especially one that's in a rental fleet. Today, I'm gonna be using my Blue Star 3500. I know some of you retards on the internet think, oh, it's not a big enough machine. Listen, fuckface, I'm gonna be using 90 amps. The thing does 150 amps, all right? So, it'll be fine.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
So the first thing I've done is I went and got a leather jacket, threw it over the hydraulic line so I don't burn through those. I don't want to disconnect them and risk getting metal inside of the hydraulic line, so instead I just cover it. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by blowing this crack out with a torch, and then we're going to go ahead and weld it up. It's not too big of a crack, so it shouldn't take me too much time, but I probably just jinxed myself. It's probably going to take me fucking forever now. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to use my gouging tip. I've already got it set up the angle I want. I'm gonna preheat this up a little bit, and then I'm gonna blow the crack out. It's not gonna be that simple. These gouging tips are finicky. They're not as easy to use as an air arc gouge. So we'll start with that. So I bumped my acetylene and my oxygen up to 6 and 60. So we'll see how that does, and if that's still not warm enough for me, then I'll bump it up again. So we've got the crack pretty well gouged out. I think it needs to go a little deeper, but I don't want to overdo it. There's no reason to, because it appears that it's really only in this gusset plate. So there's no reason for me to overdo it and make more welding and more work for myself. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this thing up and just see if we got it all the way out. For those of you wondering, no, I don't have my needle scaler with me, so we're using a chipping hammer and a wire wheel today. So it looks to me like we got a little bit more gouging to do. I can still see a piece of the crack right there. I'm probably gonna gouge a lot of this weld out, honestly. I didn't want to, because it's just gonna make more welding, but it looks like I might need to.
Subscribe!
from?
You're lucky there's no firecrackers, buddy.
Good thing, do you know any good firemen around, you know?
Well, the other thing is
And start shooting that at me?
Yeah. That would be right.
As long as you don't hit me in the eye, I don't really care.
I never said it wouldn't be right.
All right, so you can see we got it all ground out, and if you can see right there, that line is actually the line where this piece attaches into the arm. So what it looks like to me is that they never got a fully penetrating weld. So from the factory, it was kind of flawed. You know, with these pieces of equipment, you'd be surprised at what passes and what doesn't pass as far as a factory weld goes. Like this, for example, that was burning hot. I highly doubt that that's fully penetrated. It's probably just sitting there on the surface, which is good enough for, you know, what these machines do. We're gonna use some 7018 all the way out because it's not an open root. If it was an open root with grease behind it, I'd probably start with some 6010. But I'm just gonna run a shitload of 7018 in this thing. Hopefully I have enough, but we'll find out, won't we? We're gonna be running today some 1/8 inch 7018 Adamark from ESOP. This stuff's been sitting around for a hot fucking minute. So, I mean, it's sealed, and we are in Montana, so it doesn't get super damp here. But I'm still gonna throw this shit on the ground and just preheat it with the torch, try to get any moisture out of it. These actually look pretty fucking good. And how you can tell if a rod is good or not, let me see if we got one. This one's been used, so moisture might have gotten baked out of it. But how you can tell if a rod's good or not, see, actually that might be an okay rod. It's stuck a little bit more than I'd like, but you see how the flux is just kind of popping and falling off? It's a good dry rod. And then if you inspect the rod, you don't see any rust or any bullshit on it, it's probably still a good rod. So there's one easy way for you guys to check your rods out before you get to welding something structural. The old ghetto rod oven. Well, you missed me running the room. I really need to look into getting a different brand phone. It came out okay. A little cold. That's okay. I bumped the welder up. I was about 115 there. I'm about 120 now, maybe 125. So we'll see how it goes. Running really fucking good. Get good results.
You gotta get through that 3/4 plate, pass it, follow the crack.
Oh yeah, I went all the way through the weld and then actually I'm into the arm. You know, being a YouTube welder's a bit like being a porn star. You're trying to get your stick in there, but also stay out of the way of the camera. guys, there you have it. Not too bad. Not perfect, but damn, not bad at all. We have 2 more small repairs to do. I'm gonna knock these out real fast because they're gonna be super quick. The bump stops on the machine have been ripped off, and you can see they're making a divot. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna grind that down, prep it out. We're just gonna weld some 1/2-inch steel that he's got laying around. We're not gonna get fucking scientific or crazy with it. There's no reason for that. But I actually owed this welding job to Sean. He let me keep this machine for like a fucking month when I was doing my dirt work. Super cool guy. Let's just knock out these 2 little things. That was the big job for today. And those 2 little things shouldn't take me no time at all. So we'll cut those out of that 1/2-inch plate and get cracking. So the bump stops I need to make, fuck did I do with the Sharpie, are 2.5 inches. These bump stops need to be 2.5 by 2.5. This plate is 6 inches, so I'm just gonna make them 3 by 2.5 because, well, it's easier. Right there. And this whole plate is 6 inches. So we'll mark it real quick. Okay. And then let's mark it at 3 inches here, mark it at 3 inches here. We'll put it on this side because that side's flat and straight. And then right there. All right, let's go ahead and blow this thing out. While these cool, I'm gonna go prep my material over there and then we'll just weld these on. I'm not gonna get crazy with the prep, I'll just grind the edges. We won't have to do too much grinding, my cut's pretty fucking straight, so we can probably just weld these bad boys on after just a little bit of prep work. I'm just gonna go ahead and just burn that off just cause I can. I already have the torch out. If I didn't, I would just use a grinder. Almost blinded myself. All right, let's see how easy this knocks off. It seems like pretty easy. Come on, you fucker. Oh, spoke too soon, I guess. And then on this side, it's pretty good. So those bump stops should hold on. Again, there's our crack repair. So you can see it probably is gonna need some more at some point. Well, all right, fuckers and fuckettes. That's our presentation for today. If you liked it, great. If you didn't, I don't fucking care, okay? I didn't make this for you, all right? I made it for me because I'm a fucking whack job. Anyway, I'm Melting Metal Anthony. Like, subscribe, share, do the whole 9 for your boy. It's not easy to get people to let me film these fucking videos, okay? All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.